Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. We're doing part 2 of Nykari Johnson's reading, and I wanted to go ahead and get it done. And then perhaps if there's any remaining questions, I don't think there will be after this particular part, but if there is, I will do a part 3, and it'll be based on y'all's questions if you feel that there's anything else I need to explore with this case. If you need more background, check out part 1. I did an opening oracle reading on this one, as well as I also on my new channel, A Surreal Reveal, it's my first video on there, by the way. I talk about her case in comparison to Kylie Rodney's case, because it is just stark differences on how Nykari's case is being handled versus how Kylie's case was handled. So check that out. All the links will be in the description box. All right, let's get started. I'm going to break this up into parts because this is going to be a big spread. It's going to be at least about 10 to 14 questions. We'll see if I can combine some of the questions here, but there will be breaks in between so I can take pictures of the spreads, and then we clear off those cards and then put down new ones. Okay, let's get started. What is the nature of Nykari's disappearance? Are we looking at this being a runaway situation? Are we looking at this of her being kidnapped or somehow taken into human trafficking? Got the Tower. Okay. It could be something else. Okay, I want to just stop right here for a moment and just take this in. Now, I am from the area of where this disappearance took place. So my family still lives there, and they were talking about these epic storms that were coming to the Northern California region at the time that Nykari was, had gone missing. And I just feel like this could represent her kind of emerging out into the storm, and then the tower, like she experienced a tower moment, a cataclysmic moment, some kind of upheaval, something that she wasn't expecting. She willingly went out into this, but there was something that was not anything that she was prepared for that came and did something. So in terms of her running away, I sense that there would have been another card. I could be wrong, but there would have been another card that would have spoken to that. There's plenty of cards that could speak to someone running away. All right, so we're trying to get the nature of what's the nature of her disappearance? Like, was she kidnapped? Are we dealing with human trafficking? I do sense that she went off into the elements. We've got the Lovers flipping out. And this is not a surprise here, this card, because it was, made known to everyone that she was going to see her boyfriend. Okay? She was going to see her boyfriend. And maybe, no, if you're from California, you hear, oh, a storm is coming. But we're so not used to like major storms that we probably wouldn't even understand, like, okay, a major storm is coming. You need to probably hunker down and sit this one out. Don't go see your boyfriend. I was her age. I did the same thing. I traveled like an hour and a half to San Francisco. And in the storms, on a bus ride, it was just a mess. The bus almost tipped over, but I had to go see my man. So I get it. I get as a person who's 16 needing to go see her boyfriend. But it is interesting. The nature of her disappearance, Spirit is giving us some insights there. She really was going to go see him or see someone that she considered as a lover, okay? Whatever happened to her, there is some sort of DNA evidence. Oh, but this is encouraging. This is encouraging. We got alive. And this card came up, I want to say in her last reading. I want to say in her last, or the oracle reading that I did, this card came up. And I shuffled this bad boy over and over because I've been using it a lot lately in readings. So I've been just shuffling them between readings like 10, 15 times per reading so that they're nice and shuffled. Something could have happened to her that, yeah, she may be alive, but she could be in a dire situation, a situation that she can't escape from, but she would like to. But there's something some kind of exchange of something that's happened to her that would leave some sort of evidence, which then would lead me to believe that some sort of crime happened against her or around her. And that this is encouraging. This is encouraging that perhaps maybe she is still very much with us. Like I said when this card came up in part 1, that there is some sort of video, audio, or some sort of surveillance evidence of whom she left with. And I am frustrated to hear that police have made an actual statement that they have exhausted all of their investigative resources in her case and that there's nothing else that they can do at this time unless the public comes forward and give them something, which again is a far contrast to what we saw in the Kylie Rodney case that I did readings on this channel. So, and these are neighboring counties. Just so you understand that. This is not like, oh, Kylie is in another state in Nykari. No, Sacramento County sits right next to Placer County. And for it to be just so handled differently is really, really upsetting. But nevertheless, she went out and then something happened to prevent her from coming home. It's not so much, a lot of people are under this impression that maybe she ran away. I'm not really picking up that vibe here. And that there is something that captured whom she went with. There's like a trail. Okay. This could also lead me to believe that she may be being held against her will or under some sort of, I don't know, how do I say this? I don't know if it's necessarily a human trafficking situation, but something is preventing her from being able to come back home. All right. But I also have to say with the tower, something like the tower coming up in such a reading, it is concerning because the clock is ticking. There, you see these butterflies here. This is about metamorphosis, a change at any moment that is impending. So time is of the essence for her safety and well-being. And this is why it also is very frustrating with the cops that they are not doing anything to really search for her. And when I sense that there could be more that they could do. Okay. So now I want to know who is responsible for her disappearance. And we have, who is responsible? Is it herself? Is it someone else? We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Look at this. I feel like it's someone else. That's a little alarming. I've got another oracle deck I need to grab. Eight of Swords in reverse, Ten of Cups. Who is responsible? One moment, you all. Okay. Any clues on who may be responsible for her disappearance? Huh, that's interesting. Okay. All right, we gonna go with that. So I'm gonna first, let me first show you all this. The Eight of Swords, when it's upright, this is what it looks like. And you see how this person is bound. There's all these multiple birds here, but bound here, she's tied up. Oftentimes, the Eight of Swords upright can mean that you doing the self-imposed bondage. And perhaps it could be some sort of mental break when you see this. But when I'm seeing it in reverse, and I'm seeing this person more prominent here, somebody playing some sort of mind control over her and bounding her up is what I'm picking up here. Someone with some sort of motive to do so. Ten of Cups. Someone who may be of her family or be, and this is allegedly, and it may not even be her family per se. It could be someone, friends, or someone who is a friend or someone she considered she could be close to, that they are a part of a family unit, and that it was, she felt she could feel safe, she thought. But really, we're dealing with liar, lies, lying in wait. Someone is having the use of weapons or threat of weapons to harm herself or perhaps her family, preventing her from coming forward, preventing her from escaping the mental torture that she's going through. Someone could have some sort of European descent. Now, with this card, many folks in California could either be of full-blooded European descent or they could be mixed race and be half and half. So just understand that. But typically, when I see a European descent card, it could be somebody with European or Caucasian-esque features. Liar, lies, lying in wait, someone who told lies, who's told us lies, lying in wait, someone waiting for her, almost like they knew she was going to be leaving, which is interesting to me. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next question. Now we're going to get into what are the energies surrounding Nykari's home life. Because I know people are going to want to try to probe into that. What's the energy surrounding her home life? We've got Four of Wands. It's like a celebratory card. I'm going to pull from my Situations Oracle. What was the home life like for Nykari? I would feel like it's more like a sanctuary, fun, foundational, safe space. Oh, wait. It's a mixed bag, but as it is with teenagers, I would imagine, right? We've got the Four of Wands. This is about a solid foundation in terms of home life. You have these two females here, and I saw a few pictures of her with her mom, and they look like they were having a lot of fun together. But, when you're a teenager, some things can feel like restrictive or feel like you need to escape or to break the mold in your life. So that is what I'm getting here with this cleansing card. Clearing space, removing negativity. Also, this could speak to the kind of home that her mom, and I don't know if she has a step parent. I thought I heard that, but I'm not 100% sure. This is interesting, though. It says trash, discarding, throwing out. Maybe sometimes, again, if you've ever been a young person, sometimes you could feel like, oh, I don't matter, or it wouldn't matter if I leave and I just don't come back. It's kind of what I'm picking up on here. Of course, this could mean other things, but And I'm curious to hear what you all may think. But with the Four of Wands, that's the card that it says that this seemed like overall, generally speaking, a happy home, a place of inspiration for her. Maybe at times it could feel a little tight and she just needed to escape from time to time. To escape. Clearing her mind, clearing the head. Discarding, throwing out. Maybe there was also some sort of maybe discourse happening where something needed, there was some sort of negativity in the recent past. Maybe not necessarily affected or that's directly involved with her that needed to clear out. But generally speaking, the Four of Wands is a positive card in terms of home life. I would expect a mixed bag when you're asking about something like home, your home life, especially when you're asking about it as it relates to a teenager. Okay. What are the energies surrounding the state of the relationship with her parents? Perhaps with her mom, and I'm not sure if it was her stepdad or her dad. What is the nature of the relationship? Judgment. Again, like I said, if you've ever been a teenager, then chances are you might feel a little bit judged at times. But mostly this is a favorable card. Yeah. Conversations. Okay. Now this is interesting. So we've got judgment. So in terms of her relationship with her parents, they're watching her, they're looking, they're analyzing the situation, keeping a close eye on her, wanting her to call, stay connected with them. I say this because of the interview card. We have talk, conversation, get on the same page. That's the key word here with that. Keywords. Legal. I don't know if something legal was going on because that's interesting to me with the judgment card. Legal says court, paperwork filed, maybe some sort of official legal arrangement or custodial arrangement from way back when. I don't know. But nevertheless, the relationship overall seems like it was involved parents. That doesn't mean it doesn't come without challenges. And that doesn't mean that things, in the past doesn't color the present. But I sense overall that these were parents who were involved, who talked to her, who wanted to stay in the loop. She kept them informed. That's what I'm sensing here with this judgment card. Okay. Put that over there. What about our friendships? What about Nykari's friendships? What are the energies surrounding Nykari's friendships? Because what's interesting, too, about Nykari's case is there hasn't been really much of a presence of her friends coming out to support, looking for her or support the family. So what was going on with Nykari's main friendships? Ten of Swords. That's interesting to me. That's interesting. Ten of Swords. Okay, so Ten of Swords can be about a painful walking away from a situation, a breakdown in communication that ends in some arguments, ends into something that it feels like permanent, an ending of sorts. So maybe a main friendship or two in her friend group. Maybe there was some kind of disagreement, somebody feeling betrayed and just not really being of a support system. Or this could represent maybe she was going through something and they were trying to be there for her. I mean, that could be a favorable look at the Ten of Swords. Alien. So, Ten of Swords. And swords representing the season of winter. So this is kind of immediate, something going on. A strong sense of betrayal, a strong sense of backstabbing, a walking away from the situation, a washing your hands of it. Alien. These are cool. Telepathic dreams and songs. I normally would take these in, but what's standing out to me is this. Alien. It's almost alien, like, whereas if you have, think about this. Somebody reports one of your best friends missing, or dear friends, even if you're a teenager, or something happens to one of your friends. I would think that they would be out there, you know, waving the signs, or at least putting it out there, or spreading the word about their friend being missing. I'm not really seeing that. And so then, why is that? I mean, and then this card doesn't make sense to me. Magnetic, unexplainable pull, can't resist. Is this related to some kind of relationship issue that went awry, and somebody feeling backstabbed, and they're like, I don't need friends. I don't need friends in my life. I'm going to pull from the Shadow Self, the Divine Shadow Self Oracle, since we're dealing with a shadowy type of tarot card. Spirit, what's the energy surrounding her closest friendships? Humiliation. Humiliation. Somebody being humiliated? Who's being humiliated? Vindictive and a... Well, in terms... This doesn't mean... And by the way, this is all alleged. And this doesn't mean that her closest friends had anything to do with it. This is just looking at the energies and the dynamics around Nykari's, you know, situation preceding her disappearing. It could mean something. It could maybe not mean anything other than this is what was going on with them. What I do with my readings is my gift is in picking up the energy surrounding people and the relationships, the emotional, the mental going on. Some people are really good at mysterious circumstances and disappearances, at pinpointing where somebody's exactly at, or what exactly happened, like down to, like, you know, like when they took their last breath. For me, I am able to pick up on energy surrounding relationships, surrounding the person in question. So that's what we're doing. I have humiliation, somebody humiliated in recent times surrounding in the friend group. Somebody being vindictive. There's some sort of aggression going on. Somebody being aggressive as a result of being humiliated. And this is why it's like, oh, this person's kind of like, I wash my hands of this. This could be Nykari. Like, I wash my hands of this situation. And I don't need friends. Or this person could have felt that. I heard, from what I understand, is Nykari, and what I see in her picture, she seems like a sweet person. So I can't see her doing anything to humiliate someone, but perhaps maybe someone did something to her to humiliate her, and she's just like, I don't need friends. There's vindictive. We talked about that. Somebody also being aggressive. And this is what's behind that Ten of Swords, that sense of betrayal. And then there's grief. It could be silently grieving the situation. Silently grieving a breakup. Silently grieving someone hurting their feelings. Could be that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to ask about the boyfriend, but I'm wondering how many questions do I have surrounding him? We have 1, 2. I guess we could fit him in here. We got space for 2 more sets. And then I'm going to pause so I can make room for the next set of questions. Okay, so now we're going to ask about the boyfriend. What's the nature and extent of the relationship with her boyfriend, with Nykari and her boyfriend? How does he truly feel about her then and now? Okay, Seven of Pentacles. Anything else, Spirit? Okay. Got the Sun. All right. I'll pull from this deck. What's the nature and extent of this relationship between Nykari and her boyfriend? One thing that does concern me about the boyfriend, we'll talk about it in the next question, is that he allegedly sent out a message that said that that people weren't going to ever see her again, or something to that effect. Now, it could just be he's, feeling away and just, I don't know. But that was odd to me. I want also, Spirit, the untold truth. What's the nature and extent of the relationship? How did he truly feel about Nykari before this and then after? Okay. All right, so I'm getting like not terrible vibes about him. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Seven of Pentacles, putting in the work and not necessarily seeing the results just yet, and how much you had to invest in this relationship. I don't know how long these kids dated, or if he's even a kid. She's 16. I don't know how old he is. But this is definitely like, I'm putting in all this effort, is it paying off? This could be her and it's looking at him, or him looking at her. But in terms of the question of how does he feel about her then and now, the Sun is a very positive card. I mean, I don't see a lot of animosity here. This is interesting to me, though, pretending. There's some element about the relationship maybe being bigger than what it was, or he's pretending now. There's some element of pretending, fakery. So there's that. But this is where it gets a little interesting. So we got good news, positive information, finding out. Well, what did he find out? What good news is there here? Could this be good news speaking to him, them being a couple? Could be. But then eventually what happened is somebody in this relationship wanted space, or needed to be alone, or needs freedom, needs space, etc. Now, and then that left somebody else kind of hoping that things could change or be different. Things could change or be different. So we don't have a lot of information about Nykari's interpersonal relationships at this point. We don't know much about the nature of that relationship with her boyfriend. And here's the thing. I don't know if it's a really good idea that we do. If the police ever would actually try to investigate, then that would be information that they would be able to need to glean and be privy to, and us not know yet. But they're not even really investigating, so I don't know. But there's a mismatch here. Actually, I'm going to piggyback on this. How did Nykari feel about her boyfriend? Okay, Six of Wands. Okay, so she admired and adored him. So how does she feel about him at the time of the disappearance? The Fool. I mean, and again, when we're looking at relationship dynamics, what we also need to understand is it's ebb and flows. Nothing is perfect in relationships. Sometimes one person's feeling the other one more so than the other, right? That's what it can be sometimes. Sometimes it's not necessarily that he did anything wrong. It's just, or that she did anything, or that, but sometimes one person's feeling the other more than the other one is at the time we're picking up, looking at the energies. But it's interesting to me. Somebody in the union needed some space. It could have been that they may have had some sort of argument, and he's not telling the whole truth about when he actually, like, he says that she never made it to him, but maybe there's some element of not, allegedly no truth to that. Maybe they had an argument and she was like, I need to blow off some steam and I need to leave. And that decision led to something happening where she's not able to get back to her family. You have to also understand, in Sacramento, that is a hotbed, a hot spot for women being taken and put into human trafficking. It is a scary thing. It is a problem, a major problem in that area. So, just saying that. Not saying that's necessarily the case here, but just, FYI. Any shadow aspects to this relationship between Nykari and her boyfriend. And then, of course, these cards fly clear across the room. Hold on. Ouch. Okay, I'm going to reshuffle because I want clear messages here. Spirit, any shadow aspects to the relationship between Nykari and her boyfriend. We've got grudge, accusations, ambivalence. I feel like that came up before. We did a part 1. Again, I shuffle my decks in between readings very well, so it's always interesting to me when we get a repeat. Somebody in this relationship has or is holding a grudge. Again, that doesn't necessarily equate to guilt, but those are the energies I'm picking up on. We have accusations. There could be accusations within this relationship. Somebody accusing somebody of something. Accusing them of like, I've invested so much time, or I'm into you, I'm putting more work into this and you're not. That kind of accusations. This is also accusations secretly going on towards him. Like some people are like, you did something. And there's a bit of ambivalence on his part. This could represent a cut off for a moment, but the ambivalence. So this could speak to, she was ambivalent towards the relationship, or he's ambivalent towards her being missing. And that's alarming, okay? This ambivalence card. And I feel like I sense that with him because, in all the little press conferences I've been seeing, the Facebook page, and just the vibe I'm picking up from the family, from her mom, and the community leader, the boyfriend hasn't really been involved in the search. So there is definitely a showing with this card of ambivalence. However, with the Fool card, I will say this. I do sense that on that night that she wanted to do something fun, take a leap of faith and head out and try and go on a new adventure and, throw caution to the wind. Even this relationship felt that same way. I don't know how her family felt about the boyfriend. We could even see how did her mom feel about this boyfriend. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause because I need to clear off the table, shuffle the cards, and then we're going to move on to the remaining questions that I have. How did the mom feel about? Okay, so the mom, in terms of the boyfriend, the Knight of Cups came up. What else? What's this card? Ace of Cups, new love, new beginnings. She thought probably this was a good thing for her daughter. I mean, that he might be a little bit of a Casanova, but she, you know, I'm not getting bad vibes here that the mom felt a way about Nykari dating him. Like, I sense that if it was a problem, her mom would have said during the press conferences, I told her I didn't want her hanging out with him, and I'm upset that she went off and tried to meet up with him that night. That wasn't the case. This is like, okay, young, new love with someone, you know, who's my daughter's boyfriend. So I'm not getting any vibes here that the mom really necessarily had a problem. Now, we could be wrong. I'll see if there's anything here with this oracle that speaks to, is there anything else that we need to know about how the mom truly felt? Triggers. So, I mean, yeah, again, there could be some things, some kind of red flags here with this relationship, but you might be on high alert with your teenage daughter anyway. But ultimately, she was sold on the relationship as they were dating, as they were doing their thing. She trusted her daughter to make decisions about her love life. That's the vibe I'm picking up on here. Okay, friends, I'm going to now pause here because the spread has gotten quite big, and I want to clear the space off, shuffle all of these cards, and then go ahead and then ask about my next questions. I've got more questions. So I'm going to take a picture of all of these cards, do a still shot so you all get a chance to look at them all in their full glory, and then we're going to move on to the remaining questions that I have. I'll be right back.